Here to you, your family. We want to thank Honor Flight, but the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here. So appreciate you. We'll see you out here. Be safe getting off board. Captains, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Hello, everybody.
What?
As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service to you, your family. The sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing that happened.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford.
How about that?
It was a joy in my heart today to see all these people. It's good. We still got people in our country, and that's good.
I had tears in my eyes. I just couldn't believe that there was that many people around that remembered us and was there to greet us, and it was just unbelievable.
Well, it means a lot because back then you got off the plane there and you had no welcome and people were almost booing you.
I'm real happy that now with current troops that come back from deployments, they get welcomed back really nice because that's what should happen. So it's being recreated in this flight, and it makes you feel good.
I haven't flown for 50 years. I was in the military from 72 to 76. Our country puts these things up, these memorials, honoring the men and women that served. You couldn't ask for something greater.
As a veteran who served this country, over the past 10 years, I have truly lost my faith in my service to this country, the way that the country is going now, the direction in which the country is going now, led by this regime. But when I see former President Barack Obama show up at D.C. Reagan Airport to surprise a group of veterans who are doing an honor flight, to thank them for their service and to shake each and every single one of their hands, thanking them for their service to this country, it restores my faith in my service to this country. Watch how former President Barack Obama greets and thanks and honors those who have served.
Hello, everybody.
What?
As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service to you, your family. The sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing that happened.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford.
How about that?
It was a joy in my heart today to see all these people. It's good. We still got people in our country, and that's good.
I had tears in my eyes. I just couldn't believe that there was that many people around that remembered us and was there to greet us, and it was just unbelievable.
Former President Barack Obama did not go on that plane and look at those veterans and say, oh, you voted for Trump, I'm not going to shake your hand. Our veterans are being impacted right now with this current administration and their draconian policies. Many of our disabled veterans right now depend on SNAP benefits in which they are not receiving. So if you voted for this regime and this administration, don't thank a veteran. Don't thank a veteran for Veterans Day because you voted against our benefits.
This honor flight is to honor all the veterans of World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. It's all free for them. We show them all their monuments and explain what their monuments are about. We just try to treat them with dignity that some of them didn't get when they came home from the war.
Hello, everybody.
What?
As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service to you, your family. The sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here. Sir?
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing to have.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford.
How about that?
Joy in my heart today to see all these people. It's good. We still got people in our country, and that's good.
One of the reasons that we asked the president to go to Fort Campbell, there was a recognition that, yes, it was great for the SEALs and the Night Stalkers to be the final piece of the puzzle, but make no mistake about it, this was the hundreds of thousands of soldiers and sailors, airmen, Marines, intelligence professionals, foreign service officers that had all contributed to this fight, and that frankly were all part of the end game, even if they weren't right there on target. And the best way to have done that, certainly from the Department of Defense side, was to meet with one of the larger elements, which was the 101st Airborne Division. But I remember when you came down, sir, of course, the team was assembled there, and before you arrived, they understood. And these were seasoned operators. These were not young kids, as you know. When you finally met them, I think you were a little surprised by how seemingly long in the tooth some of these guys were. I mean, these were seasoned professionals that understood the magnitude of your decision. They had been involved in hundreds of missions before, and all of them understood that at the end of the day, somebody has to make the decision to go. Sometimes it's at the 06 level, the colonel or the Navy captain, sometimes it's the flag officer level, and then sometimes it's the President of the United States. And they know how hard those decisions are. And they are incredibly bright young men who also understood the kind of the larger political and geopolitical ramifications of this. So for you to show up to thank them, I think they wanted to thank you for making the decision that they knew the risk. They knew that we didn't know whether bin Laden was there. And that was an incredibly bold decision on your part. But the part that I remember most about that visit was after we got through talking to the SEALs and the Night Stalkers, we went over to the 101st. And the plan, at least as I recall, was you were going to get up. We were in a giant hangar, of course. There were hundreds of soldiers out front. You were going to, say some remarks and then kind of shake a few hands, almost a ceremonial shake a few hands.
Right.
Well, you came off the platform, you went down. Sorry.
No, that's how I felt.
You went down to start shaking hands. And of course, the soldiers start lining up.
Right.
And you start shaking hands, and I went to the chief of staff. I said, look, I know the president's got some things going on here, and if he stands there, everybody's going to line up to shake the president's hand. And you kept shaking hands, and finally I kind of saddled up beside you and I said, Mr. President, you don't need to shake everybody's hand. And you turned to me and you said, hey, Bill, this is important to me, and hopefully it's important to them. And you shook 800 hands that day. People were coming from everywhere. When they found out you were shaking hands in the hangar, what you didn't see, which is what I saw, was there was a line outside that hangar. And the kids were lining up, the soldiers were lining up because they knew the president was going to stay there until every single hand.
I will tell you, Bill, because I get emotional about this too. Every one of those kids had signed up and said to the country and to me, and the people who are making decisions about how they're going to be deployed, they had said, we are here, we are ready, and we are willing to sacrifice everything to defend this country. And some of them saw action, and some of them didn't. Some of them had friends who came back, and some of them had friends who didn't come back. Some came